Let's just go on ahead and get into our show for today. My name is Felicia Lockhart, and you have just joined the Lockhart Perspective.
I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Look our perspective.
Well, welcome. This is the Lockhart Perspective, and I want to welcome each and every one of you here today. As you can see by our title, we are looking at animal hybrids, playing Abba. Now, we all know what Abba means, so it's easier to put that there than anything else, get all kind of people looking and wondering what's going on. But what scripture reference are we going to use, Felicia? Which one? Well, we're going to go right over here to Romans. And we are looking at the first chapter. Romans in the King James Version says in verse 24 and 23, wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanliness through their lusts of their own hearts to dishonor their bodies between themselves. Now, who are they talking about? Who is being talked about here? Well, verse 25 says, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. What are they doing? Are you kidding me? There's actual hybrids. Yeah, there are hybrids. And a lot of these hybrids are not the ones that you probably know about because, we've heard about a lot of different times over, in different parts of history where people were doing different things. Well, this is science sensei. There are some amazing animals on this planet. The weird part is that we have not yet even discovered all of the animals that live today or have in the past. Nowadays, however, hybrid animal species are becoming the most popular topic of discussion. It's not hard to see why, as they are anomalies for sure. A hybrid animal species happens when animals from two different species, mate. Sometimes these things in the wild, they happen in the wild, and the animals will live among similar species for years. However, most hybrids, which is what brings us to the topic of today's discussion, most hybrids tend to happen in captivity. Okay, captivity means somebody's doing it. Usually, these captive animals are put into enclosures with others from their same species. Most of the time, the hope is that they will mate with that species, and other times, these animals are put among others of a similar but different species. And they take, for example, the elephants. Usually, the African and Asia elephants do not come across each other in the wild, right? Think about their names for a second to know why African and Asian elephants, all right? Yet in captivity, too, young elephants will likely mate, causing a possible hybrid to be born. This actually did happen once, too. Sadly, the baby elephant hybrid died 12 short days into its life. Most hybrids tend to survive a good bit longer than this, but many are sadly sterile. Sometimes females of species can still give birth, but this is the only connection to the hybrid that will remain. At the end of the day, however, hybrids are incredible. We felt it might be best to show you a lot of them and to tell you about the species and how they came to be. With that said, we hope that you enjoy our list of incredible hybrid animals. Now, that is for the Science Sensei. Now, you're going to see a description of the next picture I'm about to show you, which will be the Jeep. Okay, I didn't get a chance to put that in there, but it is at the bottom of one of the other descriptions. As I was editing my part of this video, I noticed, oh, wow, I have the description, but you're not going to see the photo in the clip that I'm going to show. So this is an infant Jeep hybrid, Geep, Geep or Jeep, however you want to say it. God didn't make it, and there it is. That's the infant one. I hope that you can see that. Okay. I want to stop for a second and say hello to everybody because there are a few of you that I didn't get a chance to see. Now, I did see Justine, I did see Rachel, and of course, myself, I'm having a conversation with us. But in tandem with the two young ladies that I just said, we've got 4 individuals or 5 individuals that may be working and just listening. We appreciate you. You may be just peering in for a second. You don't want to get caught up in the chat. I'm going to acknowledge you and say hello and welcome. Thank you so very much for being here. You matter. Okay, Q Prince Charles. Hello, how are you? Eyes on the 31st. Okay, I don't know what that means, but all right. Now, let's take a look at the video that the Lockhart Perspective has put together today to go along with the one that we're looking at on the screen. There are some really amazing things. Oh, hello. How are you? Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're going over a lot of that. Oh, Zamalas, it is so awesome to see you. I pray that the Father is blessing you and that you are safe and healthy. I don't get a chance to see you often, but when I do, it's always good to see you. So yeah, so what we're going to do right now is we're just going to kick right into overdrive and go directly into a video that I put together just so that we can see. And then we're going to go back to the word because no matter what, that's what we have to do, right? Here you go. Now that's a Walpin. It's another extremely rare hybrid made by the mating of a male false killer whale and a female bottlenose dolphin. Okay. They all fall under the dolphin family. Now, this is a boar pig hybrid and a cross between the Eurasian wild boar and a domestic pig. Okay. This is what Awesome Alice was talking about. This is a zebroid. And it's the offspring and the cross between a zebra and other equine. Okay. Some have horses and donkeys that are an equine that are crossed, but that's what this is. This is what they call zebroids. Now, unlike most hybrid animals, narugalas or narlugas are found in the wild. The scientists think that the narwhal beluga whale is a combo between the climate as a result of climate change. Okay. As the two species are forced into each other's territory. So that's where that came from. This, believe it or not, these names just get sillier. Okay, so this is a beefalo. It's a cross between domestic cattle and the American buffalo. And the crossbreed is actually fertile. Now, this is a liger. It's a crossbreed between a male lion and a female tiger, and some people claim that they also appear in the wilderness, but this has not been proven. However, they are often bred in captivity. They grow extremely quickly and are most often considered the largest cats in the world. There are also tigons, a crossbred between the tigers and the female lions. An interesting thing about both tigers and tigons is, yeah, they're creepy. This right here is by far the most scary to me. No, it's a jaguar and a lion together. It's called the jag lion. and it was accidentally conceived in Bear Creek Sanctuary in 2006. It's a female and it has a brother named Tsunami who resembles a leopard more, okay, than a lion or a jaguar. Um, so these are some of the animals that are in captivity, right? These are just a few. These are not all of them, but they're just a few. But now, the topic that we're talking about is playing Abba. We know that man for some time has had the desire to play Abba because of the fact that the fallen angel, the one who led the 1/3 of the, and the entire heavens astray, has always wanted to be the Father. He's always wanted to exalt himself above the Father. So everything that he does, you'll find that that's one of the, I want to say, one of the attributes of somebody or anybody. Let's take it back a few. Have you ever noticed somebody who tries to follow you and all you're trying to do is follow the Father, and he'll give you great ideas? He'll drop those ideas in your mind and you'll go and you share those ideas with somebody else. And then all of a sudden you see that somebody else is doing the same ideas that you had because they don't have any original ideas of their own. So all they can do is sensationalize the ideas that you had and then play them off as their own. That's exactly what he did. When he was kicked out of heaven, he just said, hey, the third of you guys want to hang out with me? Come on, I'm going to show you guys how to do some stuff. We're going to have our own kingdom. And so what they did is they came here where he was already kicked out of, right? He was already here. He was already kicked out of glory and brought down here. But what he started to do was tamper with every single thing that the Father put on this planet. That's the nature. And so whenever somebody is into this whole scientific thing, because as you can see, we were just looking at Science Sensei, which was where we saw these other animals. And there are a few more that we're going to thumb through here in a second. But you'll find that what they did was they simply want to be our Father. But where did the idea come from? How did these scientists decide that this was something they wanted to do? Where did the thought process drop into them to do this? Well, the thought process flows both directions. We can get transmissions from our Father who is in heaven when we are submitted to him. Conversely, there are individuals who are leaning towards another direction. Now, for the sake of science, you would say, okay, well, it's fine. They're just scientists and they're just trying to figure out. And you know what? That goes without saying. That just may be so. But to literally take animals and put them into a controlled setting and then have them create or procreate like this is amazing. As you can see, based on the story that we just got through reading, it even said that some of them are literally sterile. So even though some of the animals there, you know, are what, I think it was, somebody just said it was a beautiful cat. Yeah, but they're sort of creepy looking, especially that big one. They're trying to play God, but that mindset did not start just there. So when we look at this, we have to put all of this stuff in perspective, right? Because if they're doing it with the animals, which we already know, they're going to do it further. The purpose of this today is to let you come in a little bit closer to why things are the way they are. I'm just asking you to come a little bit closer, peer a little bit further into what truth is right now. Right now. Let's take a quick look at some of the comments that are being made here. We've got, let's see. Oh, you're going over hybrids. Have you zebra cross with a horse? I think it's a zorse. Yes. And so if you remember in the very beginning of that Ozymandias, it talked about the different equines. So basically what they've done is they've taken the zebra, my friend used to say zebra, taken the zebra and have crossed it with other equine. Although there are some animals in the equine family that it will not mix with, they move on to the next one and see exactly, how they're going to be successful with blending the two animals, right? Now, let's see. Oh, Q Prince Charles says, Dallas, Texas, checking in. Well, hello to you. We're very happy to have you. Okay, they have a cow that has excess of muscles. Yes. Now, I'm not even sure if you guys, yes, we did have that one animal in there that's the big, it's like a cross between the cow and a buffalo, and they call it a beefalo. Can you imagine eating any of this hybrid stuff? Because as you know, there are specific purposes and reasons. Now, I know that people like to throw away the law, but you all know that here we are Hebrew, and you guys know that. And if you didn't know it, well, now you know. But there are certain things that we don't eat. That would be my brother Ronnie, my brother Lee, and myself. There are certain things that we don't eat. All right. And the purpose for that is because it has some health qualities that aren't so good. And no matter how delicious and crispy and crunchy bacon is, oh, especially when it's that chewy bacon, we can't eat it because it does have some bad health qualities. Now, as time progresses, what you will find out is that a lot of these things that are hybrids are going to be really not good for you. They're really not going to have any value to your life. Listen, there are certain fruits and vegetables, and there are certain animals that actually do add some value to your life. And then, conversely, there are some that take some away from you. I can guarantee you that by chowing down on some of these things that you thought was beef, it's not going to be any good. And I also believe that this has a implication that's going to lead us into a totally different direction, because if it's easy for us to eat hybrids in this manner, what's a little bit of necromancy in there? Just add a little of this in there. Just add a little dead, this or that in there. You can follow me, I'm sure. So that's part of the reason why we want to make sure that we notice this. Because when you're chowing down on what you thought was chicken and you realize that it's just a little stringy or it's a little grainy, or where did you ever see a bone that looks like that? Chances are you were purchasing something that you thought was a real chicken, or that you thought you were grilling some beef that you really thought was beef. Now, I can guarantee you that if I put this poll out here right now, and it'll be a verbal poll, and if you want to take participation in it, you can. If I ask you the question, how many of you have eaten some beef most recently, or even chicken most recently, and it just didn't feel right to you? How many people will say, yes, I've experienced that? You can put a 1 or 2. No, I've not experienced that. No matter what the answer is, we're good. We'll be okay. Go ahead and put it, remembering that I've got a 10-second delay between the response time, because that's how long it takes me to see it over here on my side. Okay, so go. You have had chicken or beef in the most recent past, and you've noticed something was different, or you've had it and you haven't noticed anything. 1 for yes and 2 for no. And the purpose of me asking you that is that if you haven't really noticed it most recently, you will. As soon as we're finished talking about this, I guarantee you're going to say, "Wow, I just watched a video with Felicia, and I this chicken tastes weird. The bones look odd. They're misshapen. Or why is this bone broken already?" Which goes to a totally different topic. It's not even about hybrids, more so that it is, pushing them to grow quickly, and so the bones break under the pressure of the weight that they're putting the chickens under when they're making them the way that they do. Justine DeVoe says insanity. Rachel Van Ziel says beautiful cat. Ozamala says killer bees were made by hybrids also. Wow, that's good to know. Thank you for that. Have you seen the clear skin frogs? No, I haven't. Ozamalis, I like you because you're very inquisitive. And if you can send me some of that stuff in email, I would love it. Again, you guys, when you send things to my email, make sure that if you're sending it to another creator, that you exit me out of it and simply send it to me. I know sometimes it's easier to just send one email that to everybody that you're, want to send it out to, but my channel is not an affiliation and is no longer affiliated with other content creators for spiritual reasons. So if you're going to send anything to the Lockhart perspective, make sure that you're just sending it to me. And because here's what I'll do, and I've said this before, I will bow out gracefully and allow that other content creator to talk about whatever it is that you want to share, because I don't, I believe it's better to have peace above all, right? Okay, so yes, awesome malice. Please do that for me. If you have photos of that clear skin frog, or you've got a article, I would love to add that to our arsenal. I think that's awesome. I think that would be good. Awesome, Alice. It would be awesome. Okay, so Justine DeVoe says, nothing good comes from playing God. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It does not. Agreed, Justine. Rachel Van Zyl says. So we're all in agreement with that. Ozamala said, if you see the dog human bread pic is real, it's very creepy. I have seen that and it is very creepy. There's a few others that were just a little too scary for me to show because it just vexed my spirit. It really did. The dog human, yes, I know exactly what you're one. You said it isn't real, but no, there are. There were listen, and I think it's somebody down below inside of the description that was talking a few minutes ago, and they were talking about how mythology and all this other stuff, Greek mythology or whatever, when they've been doing this since before the garden, right? Because when you look at it back during the time where creation during creation, and then when the watchers, and then all the the angels, there was a third of the angels that were expelled. Well, those third actually went into the women, and the Bible says that once they got tired of the men, of the species man, they then began to go inside of animals. And so then you got giant animals, right? For all we know, that's possibly where the dinosaur came from, but there were hybrids at that time. And so you did see a great deal of hybrids that were dog man, you saw bear man, you saw lion man, because they took on the form of those angels. Now, I know a lot will disagree with me, and that's understandable, and that's totally okay to do that. But look into it, and then you'll be able to find for yourself that this is exactly what was going on. And it's so funny because as we listen to a lot of things that are just absolutely, they make you just want to hold your head because you can't believe it. These are the demonic things that took place, and these are the demonic things that are taking place. Right. And that's the reason why this channel now has totally changed the trajectory. And it's all about the Father. It's all about ministering to men and women. It's all about ministering to the good of our people. Why? Because it's important now. Everything else takes a back seat. Every single thing else has to take a back seat. Now, there are certain things that are happening right now that do go in alignment with the word, because we've got to be a watchman on the wall. We've got to keep looking, but we've totally got to be on fire for the Father right now. It is no time to play. Time out for all the playing, time out for all the everything. No one cares about anything going on above us in DC or anywhere else. We really don't. We already know that those things are going to happen, right? But there are some things that we talk about that are in alignment with the end times. And that's the things that we have to be prepared for. It is that necessary. And so again, yes, that dog and the man and all that stuff, there were big heads that you look like you would see like in Egyptian times or whatever. Some of the frescoes and stuff that would be on the cave walls, you would see like a dog head man. Those things were real. That, yes, Rachel Van Zyl says the fallen ones, most assuredly so. That is right, Awesome Alice. He is the creator of confusion. It is not of our Father. And so if we see confusion, we know that it's not him, right? And we can just kick it to the curb. That's the delineative line between knowing if something is from our Father or something is from the spirit or the kingdom of darkness. Once you see that, it's easy to cut it off and move on. It is so easy to excise or to get that bad part out and keep it pushing and have no remorse about it because you already know where it came from. Coco, hello, Coco Loco. It's so good to see you live. So good to see you. So very good to see you. Hey, Flavio, Antonio, haven't seen you in a long time, Flavio, but it is good to see you as it was before the flood. Absolutely, Flavio, most assuredly. Ozamala says that there's nothing new under the sun. Wonder how this content to the statutes like the ones in Egypt, exactly the ones we were just referencing, and other places where they had crossing of species. So this is nothing new. All of these things were being done. Now, how does this tie into what might be new for us to keep our eyes open? Well, what happens is we get very comfortable with things the way that they are, and we never ever go beyond today. Heck, most of us don't even go beyond yesterday. Most of us can't even remember the day before or even last week. And so that's the reason why it's important to bring this stuff to our forefront of our mind so that we can stay sharp, so that you are sharp and witty when you're seeing all this stuff, so that you know exactly what it is, that you're a little more cognizant when you're walking in the grocery store and you're wondering why that chicken or that beef may be a price point that's so low that you just don't get it. When you see something that says that it's beyond something real, or it's not necessarily, meat, and it looks a little grainy, looks a little weird, it's gonna wake you up and make you realize that not everything you see is good for you. As a matter of fact, there's one whole company that's just now changed their whole mindset with regards to making a burrito, and they've sort of covered it up with potatoes. We have got to understand the ploy of the enemy. We've got to understand that he does not like us. He hates our Father. Therefore, he's not going to have any care or concern for us. And so when we begin to see these things, we have to understand what category to put it in. If it ain't our Father, it's not of him. Period. Period. Now, Flavio says, where do you think the creatures of Greek mythology came from? Absolutely. No, they didn't write sci-fi. Absolutely. That's absolutely right. Ozamala says, yeah, it's unclean meat is real. And if people follow that, we wouldn't have Animal Cross to people's sickness. I think that's what you're saying. We wouldn't have Animal Cross to people's sickness happen, and we could stop the pandemics, actually. Well, I'm going to say this to that. That's very convenient for them, right? To be able to say that. The book of Jasher describes creatures of the time. Flavio, you know what? You rock the Casbah. Let me tell you why. Because that's actually what we're studying right now. So the channel is working on Jasher so that we can bring some things this weekend. I hope that you have the ability to come and share with us, because we're going to be looking at some things in the book of Jasher. We're dealing with time. We're dealing with Nimrod / Gilgamesh. And so I'm glad to know that you're up on that, because I would love to have your input. I hope that you can be a part of the chat this Saturday. Justine DeVoe says too, okay, so you haven't seen it. Girl, let me just tell you. Yeah, it's pretty creepy. Okay, so you get your meat from a farm. Well, that's a blessing, Rachel Van Ziel. And I know that a lot of us wish that we could. You know what I mean? Anthony Van Zandt, it's so good to see you. Afternoon. Yep. In the normless world, chimera and lipstick on a plastic biochem pig is still just chimera lipstick on a plastic biochem pig, as Lucy tries to usurp our creator via science. Absolutely. Ozamela says too, the chicken is bigger now. That's why I buy organic. Yes, absolutely. 1 for the chicken and 2 for the beef. Okay, so you have seen the chicken. Now let me tell you, Flavio, how the beef is, because I noticed that there was and you know what? Let's just say this. I did see that they were talking about some things being put into beef that makes it a little weird, right? But what I've noticed is there's more marbling in certain cuts of beef that shouldn't be there. And then when you get down to that marbling with knife and fork, it's not like the marbling we've seen in the past. As a matter of fact, it looks like little pouches of meat between the marbling. And so when you start to eat it, it's sort of like chewy, rubbery, and you're like, what is this? The sweet thing about it is, if you'll follow children, not necessarily dealing with the chicken or the beef, but if you follow kids, we don't take our grands out to McDonald's anymore. Sometimes as a treat, we will take them to the Dairy Cream and get them a scoop of ice cream, or one of those little, ice cream things. But as a rule, we don't do the McDonald's anymore. If you will look at children, when you'll set some of that stuff in front of them, you'll find that kids have the most keen sense of humor. They have the most keen sense of wit, but they're also very smart. They're very smart. Their little pineal gland is not overcalcified like yours and mine, and therefore their heightened intuitiveness is already there. They can see, and a lot of times they leave that stuff sitting right there. You'll be like, why aren't you eating it? Maybe they'll drink the beverage. Maybe they'll even munch on some of the apples if you get them that. But the truth is that they know what's real and what's not. What about that? I need a link for your email. One of the mods, I think I only have one mod in here now, and that would be Rachel. I believe that would be Rachel. I can't see on the other side. But Rachel, if you don't mind, if you haven't already done so, would you please give the email address, the Felicia@FeliciaLockhart.com, link there, or just put it there so that those who'd like to can email. Please don't send me anything asking me to buy anything. As you guys know, I don't have a job. I got somebody sending me something to ask me to buy some really expensive stuff. And I was like, gee whiz, it would be really cool if I could. But this is my source of income. So please, I don't want to, make you feel bad if, you send me something to purchase something like, some big generator or something like that, and I can't. So just use that just to send information, to share prayer requests, to tell me about things that you want to praise our Father for, prayer requests, as well as praise reports, as well as stories that are not connected to another channel or not connected to a video. As you know, we suffered a loss last month when we posted a video. I did it and I was wrong, but I did it. I mean, I was wrong by their standards, but I'm not sorry that it happened. But we lost about 7 to 10 days almost, right? But nonetheless, yeah, so no video, but definitely any news stories and any prayer requests or praise reports. Okay, so love bugs of Florida are made in a Florida university. Are those the ones, Flavio, that are stuck together? Because I call them humping bugs. If it's the ones, I was under the understanding that when we had Hurricane Katrina, because Hurricane Katrina allegedly came from the parts of Africa, the southern part or whatnot, that they came from there to here. Are you talking about those ones that are connected, like the love bugs of old? Because I call them humping bugs and they are a nuisance. They're always doubled up together and they're terrible. They hit the South a lot. Let me know if that's what you're talking about. Wake Up Gaming called Gerald. It is so good to see you. Happy Monday to you too as well. It's going high-end GeoLab food as Alchemy's duality tries to, with a smiley face. Yep, packaging. Yep. Okay, there were a lot of videos on YouTube about that had the hybrids, and I thought they weren't real. There's a lot of them that are. And you know what? A lot of times it seems that they will put out stuff that would appear to be fake just to throw you off a little bit. I mean, I know that sounds a little kooky for me to say, but hey, think about it, toss it around, choose to believe it or not. You know what I mean? But Rachel Van Ziel says that commercials show hybrids humans lately. They sure do. And it's my idea or my mindset that in a minute, there's not going to be need for any more actors because they'll have CGI so good that they won't necessarily have to have it. They can just use created people, which is a lot cheaper, right? They could just make them on a commercial, and that commercial would just be just showing them as people, but not necessarily so. You can save a lot of money. You don't have to have a company go out and hire them. You don't have to pay them for being on the air. There's a bevy of reasons why they might try that. Not saying that I agree, but I definitely understand what you're saying, Rachel Van Ziel here. Yes, complacency, absolutely. The Google monsters, wow. The book of Jasher, chapter 36. Okay, I will read that tonight because I'm a little bit before that one, a little bit before 36. I'll do that one, Flavio. Flavio, thank you. Hi there, DJ Vision Barnett. It is so good to see you as usual. Great to see you, and I'm happy to have you here. Great to have you here. Anthony Van Zandt says, Felicia, good sister friend, got this kid sharpening pencils. Like the 90s. Rachel can hit Lucy with her adorable little blue wrench, and I'll get them with the pencils. I know that's right. Go ahead and do it. Chickens taste different now than fresh. Absolutely. And you know what? Let me tell you something, DJ Vision Barnett. For a long time, we could not actually find whole chickens anymore. And I remember saying that just recently, maybe like 2 months ago. I was like, gee whiz, do they not have any more whole chickens? When I was raising my kids, I used to actually have chicken cutting contests with my friend. She and I used to take a chicken and we would cut it up to see how fast we could do it. And I had it down to like 3 minutes to go cut the breast, the legs, and everything. And then after a minute, you didn't see anymore. Well, just recently, I literally found whole chickens and it tastes like it used to taste. So maybe somebody's, getting a provider here in the local area. But I would think that, you know what, we would have more places able to give us real food. We are the United States, and we've got so much farmland. Of course, we know who's purchased up a lot of it more recently than not. But I would imagine that we would have more food to feed. You know what I mean? In a minute, it's going to be really bad. In a minute, it's going to be really bad because it's at the point now where we've got more stuff coming in than we do going out. And frankly, I think we can just cut off everything from going out and everything from coming in, and just take care of ourselves for a good 3 years to get us back where we need to grow our own fruits and vegetables and sell those at local markets, grow our own meats. But it doesn't appear that everybody has that mindset. And therefore, yes, the chickens do taste different now than fresh chicken. Absolutely. GMOs, absolutely. And Justine DeVoe, yeah, that marbling is a form of glue. Hello, Mr. Leslie. It's so good to see you. That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm glad you said it and I didn't. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And they put it all together to make it form this, this what looks like a beautiful roast for only $2.99 or $1.99 a pound. And now you're sitting here dealing with that. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Okay. DJ Vision Barnett says that the place with the golden arches, they go crazy over it. Yeah, but the kids don't anymore. You know what I mean? They used to, but they don't anymore. They really don't. Yeah, they don't go crazy over it like they used to. They used to go like, "Oh, we got to go there, we got to go there." But now all they do is they're just going to drink the beverages and that's it. That's all they're going to do. Okay, so Anthony Van Zandt said, "Yep, gotta say, when the faithful lady is right at Rachel." Yes. Steve says, "LOL." Yes, Felicia at FeliciaLockhart.com. Thank you. And if you don't mind, yes, please go on ahead and send me any prayer requests. Send also any information that you want me to have as far as stories that you found that ties into the direction of the channel, right? Again, we're not doing a lot of political stuff here, although there are some channels out there that do that. Anything that happens within the news, of course, because that's my background, I will talk about I will talk about it. I will do news briefs or whatnot. But the purpose of the channel really is, as we said when we came off that hiatus last month, is specifically the word. That's what we do. And so again, all affiliation with other channels that have decided to go another direction, we do not have. And so that's why we say, please, if you're going to send any information to the channel, just remember that it cannot have a copy to somebody else, because I will submit to that person. I will submit to them and I will allow them to do the story. Not to say that you can't send stories to others, right? That's a bit territorial, right? What I'm saying is, as if I see another content creator, I will respect them and I will bow out gracefully and allow them to do it. So that is the email address. It's Felicia at FeliciaLockhart.com. I would love to see any of the information that you have to share. Now, as it relates to inboxing folks or inboxing you, if we don't have a relationship within the email, it's very rare that I will inbox you. If we do not have a relationship here on the channel, it is very rare that I will inbox you. Unless I'm being led to pray or something is going on, I can't say that, in the spirit, what I won't do in the future. But I will tell you that if you're getting anything from me, you're going to know that it's me because we've already had a relationship. And if I've got to reach you, then I will email you via the email that you have provided. But it's very rare that I will reach out on any of my social media platforms and send you a request via DM. Okay. And that's because there's a lot of fake channels that are out there doing really crazy stuff. All right. So Justine DeVoe says, wow, 3 minutes. And Sandy Aaron, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Brother Antonio says, in the 90s, a friend farmer from France wondered how people ate chicken that looks like Purdue. He was the first president of, I don't know how to pronounce this. Is it Poulet de Loup? Poulet de Loup? I don't know what that is. Find it on YouTube. Okay, we will. We definitely will. Audio, visual, digital signature, manual, and remote shadowing, and reconstructed telecommunication traffic and faith. I wasn't talking about the serpent to begin with. Okay, nothing new. All right. Justine DeVoe, hi, Sandy, all the lovely highs. I love the way you guys greet one another. I think it's awesome. Yes, Sandy. Yes. Yes. Yes, most assuredly. Well, we got through all of that. And I know that there are a few people who just came in. So just for the sake of that, we're going to show the video that we just showed. It's just about a minute and a half. It's nothing long, but just so that you guys who just came in can catch up with the rest of us. I hope that's all right with everybody else. Let's go ahead and take a look and read some of the captions. These are some of the hybrid animals that we were just looking at. That's the liger. So do you see this one? It says this is Jezhara, a female jagulion that was made in captivity. However, there's a whole family of them, an entire family of them. It's a brother by the name of Tsunami, and the father's name was what I really wanted to point out. The father's name was, I think it was Diablo. I know it was. That's what I just saw. It's what I just read. So, let's finish up with some of these great comments. You guys, I always say that you guys are by far the smartest chat around. And that is because we're all co-laborers together. That's the reason why you guys are the smartest, because you're being led by the Holy Spirit. Everybody here, I thank the Father that He does send in people who don't know the word, and those people end up growing and becoming even stronger in the word that they thought they knew. And then I thank Him that there are strong, strong prayer warriors in our midst in this chat. You all are co-laborers. Knowing that I pray for you guys constantly, whenever you're on my heart, especially, and whenever I don't see you, you'll find that I'm praying for you, right? Okay, so let's see. You talked about your friend, the farmer, while meat with the glue. Yeah, okay, I think it was here. Flavio says that pre-flood people lived long enough to pursue crazy science. Imagine research and testing for 500 years by the same crazy. I like you. Did you join the channel already, Flavio? Are you a channel member? Have you already joined, or have you already given us a subscription here? Have you already subscribed? If you haven't, I enjoy you, and I invite you to do so. And if you have, thank you so much. Thank you, because you are a hoot. I like you. But I do remember you being here once before. Not to say that you don't watch the replays, but as far as live, I haven't seen you in a while. But I know I always do enjoy you. Ozamala says it was reported in 2016 that the see-through frogs were first created. And you sent me the link. Thank you. Flipper. And then I think you said flopper. Somebody said flopper after that. I thought that was funny. That was Justine DeVoe said flopper. Okay. Hi there, Sandy. You guys are great, greeting each other. Holy brother, sister greeting. They have a sheep pig also. Isn't that disgusting? Ugh. Ugh. It just makes you want to say ugh. What are you going to do with that? They'll probably have places where you can eat all of that stuff. And to me, bison used to be really good, but I did have bison not long ago, and it just didn't taste like bison. I was like, what is this? Obviously, after what we just got through seeing, it was probably beefalo. Flipper, Flopper, Flavio, Antonio, we probably would be scared to see all they have. I agree. I totally agree with that. I think we would be. Well, it crossed in whale and dolphin whopper. Yeah, with those teeth. It was like a dangerous one. It was creepy. It as it was in the days of Noah. Yes. Hey, Marty Lauderdale, how are you? I'm glad you got a chance. Were you here earlier so you didn't get a chance to see the recap? I hope that that helped out a lot, and I hope that everybody was patient with us while we showed it again. But it's amazing, right? Yeah, it is. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. All that stuff that's not good. And I think that the inevitable part of our Father's creation is man. Is man. Oh, you watch in silence. Well, then you hear me welcome you all the time, because I talk about the voyeurs, Flavio, and I'm like, thank you, whoever the voyeurs out there. You guys help keep the channel going, and I so appreciate you, because sometimes you're too busy. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just want to listen. Maybe you're working on a car, or maybe you're out in the yard, or maybe you're like our brother Steve that's working in the shop, or something, or maybe somebody's cooking some supper or breakfast, and they just don't have time to sit there and plinkety plink with the keyboards. Now, for those of us who do, I appreciate you too. But for the most part, if you're not able to, I just appreciate you being here. What means a lot to me is if you share us out, because there have been very good there's been a lot of good content that the Father has put on my heart most recently that helps others. And so I think that there are a lot of people out there that are in need of some of the information that the Father, if not all of the information, for those people that it hits, I believe it's for them. So there may be something within the last few days or weeks that you can share with others. That means a lot to me. I don't mind you sharing it. As a matter of fact, we encourage it, right? If it is in the ministry sense and somebody just wants to show it, I will not give a community guideline strike for anything that is biblical that I've shared, because I believe that it's for the masses. And this is just a small way of being able to reach those folks, but it really reaches and penetrates the hearts of man when you particularly share it with those that need it. So I'm glad that you have been one of the folks sitting here in silence. All right, Rachel Van Ziel, Marty Lauderdale says, hey, good afternoon. And it is good to see you as well. Sandy Aaron says, have y'all looked into Plum Island? I haven't, but now that you've just piqued my interest, I will. Okay, I will. I definitely will. My son's uncle has a Christmas tree farm, and they've done a little bit of crossbreeding trees. I don't like it. I just think it dishonors God's creation, just my personal feeling on it. Gotta run, guys. Meeting my sister at Red Lobster. Well, enjoy. Have some of those biscuits for me. I don't do the crustaceans, but please eat them Cheddar Bay biscuits, because those biscuits are on point. And y'all need to come on up this way and let's hang out, okay? There's somebody else that we need to hang out with too, that's coming this way. So Sandy, myself, and about 3 of us, we're going to meet pretty soon. I know you're saying like, really? Yeah, Sandy, we are. Because I just found out that somebody else that's here in our chat quite often, one of the members of the family is actually moving this direction. So we're going to get together. We're going to hug one another's neck, and we're going to hang out. We're going to go live together, and we're going to just have a really good time in our Father. All right. So Anthony Vazant says, getting rid of the independent farmers before we realize the animals are some kind of walking plastic tech, programmable matter, rubber hits the road. Yes. Red Lobster. Isn't that funny? Well, you guys, we're coming up on 52 minutes, and I just want to tell you how much I appreciate your time. This is like, yes, most assuredly a party. This is most assuredly the second time that we've come out today. And I hope if you didn't get a chance to watch the video that we made earlier, we're dealing with a different type of love, but we're looking at obsessive love and the mania that goes behind some of those folks believing that the love they're in is of the Father. That's what we talked about earlier. We're trying to figure out what time is the best time, but I think everybody's now used to the 3:00 time slot, which means that we're probably going to be using the 3:00 time slot. But what you can always do is look at the community tab. If you don't get a notification, I may just plug you an email. If you sent me a message that says, I've not been getting my notifications, then you'll see me go live and I'll send you one. Yeah. Okay. So listen, everybody, I love all of you guys. You guys are awesome. You rock. There's nobody like you guys. And the Father loves each and every one of you, right? Even those of us who may feel a little bad because maybe we've said something wrong to a loved one just recently. Maybe we've shouted when we shouldn't have shouted. Maybe we didn't answer somebody back in a loving manner, because we know the word tells us that, you know what? A soft answer turns away wrath, and we ended up in a wrathful argument. You know what? Go to that person and ask them for forgiveness. And if they forgive you, cool. If they don't, that's cool too. You've done what you were supposed to. But let's walk in love with each other. And as much as it lies within each one of us, let's live in love. Marty Lauderdale, before we leave, has a couple of comments, and it says, that was great subject matter earlier. I caught the tail end, and we'll watch the replay. Great. I'm glad. Thank you, Marty Lauderdale. Faith's super 3D glasses are essential at Marty. All right, folks, I appreciate you. And remember what we always say here on this channel, that man may not, shall not, will not, cannot live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. Take care of yourselves and take care of one another. Be blessed.
To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.